All right, well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Connection Hangout. It is Wednesday, July 16th, and we have a very exciting hangout tonight. We have a whole panel full of doctors that we're going to be hearing from all across the country. But before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Paul Tyra, and I'm joined by my co-host over there in Atlanta, Georgia, David Asarno. David, are you out there?
Hey, Paul, how are you?
Fantastic, fantastic. I'm trying to get everything up and running here while I'm talking. Let's see. We are also joined by Brent Brooks, who is actually moderating the comment thread beneath here. So if you have a question or just would like to say where you're viewing from, we'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and chime right on in. Now, to clarify, this is not an ASEA business presentation or product overview. If you would like more information on ASEA specifically, get back with the person who invited you to be on this Hangout, or some of you may see an actual more info button underneath. You can click on that, and that'll take you to more info as soon as we're done. Okay, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the introduction. I'm going to pass it over to David so he can introduce our panel. All you, David.
Thanks, Paul. Well, this week, first of all, I have a close relative, actually a brother from another mother. He is a chiropractor, Dr. Foster Malmed. He is a chiropractor kinesiologist at Putnam Hospital Center in Carmel, New York. He has 28 years of experience. He is a Triple Diamond executive with ASEA, and he is the inaugural Business Builder of the Year award recipient by ASEA. Welcome, Dr. Foster.
Thank you. Thanks for the applause.
We also have Dr. Mark Fedorczyk. Dr. Mark is a doctor of chiropractic, board-certified wellness consultant. He's owner of Universal Health Specialists in Frederick, Maryland, where he combines chiropractic care with nutritional and physical evaluations and customized rehabilitative exercise therapy programs. His degree is from Rutgers University, and he's been utilizing ASEA within his clinic with great success as part of a comprehensive health improvement program, and he is an ASEA Gold Executive. Welcome, Dr. Mark.
Hey, thanks, David.
Next up, we have Dr. Joe Labriola. Dr. Joe is a proctologist, a chiropractor, and business owner.
Oh, boy. Kind of the same thing. Don't worry about it.
He's in Ramsey. Choked myself up. I shouldn't have done that. He's in Ramsey, New Jersey, and his primary focus is spinal correction and rehabilitation techniques. No, even more importantly, he is husband of the world famous Dr. Pilar Labriola, and for the last and for the past 2.5 years, they've incorporated ASEA into their treatment plans, not just for rehabilitation, for nutritional counseling as well, and they've had great success. So welcome, Dr. Joe.
Thank you.
And next up, we have Dr. Jim DeBlasi. He is a doctor of chiropractic medicine. He's over 30 years in practice. He's certified Brimhall practitioner, Georgia Board of Chiropractic, and my neighbor, Dr. Jim. Welcome, Dr. Jim.
Oh, you got to unmute your mic there, Dr. Jim. If you want to say hi, be on the upper part of your screen.
On the upper right corner of your screen, of your photo.
Or if you put, let me see if I can do it there. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see. I might be able to do that. No, it's on his end. So yeah, if you put your mouse pointer over the center of your screen and the buttons fly out the top, click on the little microphone symbol.
There you go, Dr. Jim.
I'm in? Okay, great. Thank you.
Welcome, Dr. Jim.
Thank you.
All right.
So ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to all of our doctors. So Dr. Foster, I'm going to begin with you. You've been a doctor for over 30 years. You weren't involved in network marketing prior to ASEA. How has having a valid science-based product impacted your ability to have a successful network marketing income in addition to your chiropractic income?
Okay, it's a great question. So it took me about 20 years to the hospital, and now that I'm doing this for 30 years, you know, when we all started out in practice, we knew when we graduated that one day we would be rich doctors, because we knew insurance would just pay whatever it was that we asked of them. So as that became not as true as we had all hoped, why are you laughing, Mark?
Oh, I have a lot to say about that.
I want to ask, why are all the chiropractors chuckling right now?
Nobody gets the joke, guaranteed. So back in August of 2010, so I'm sort of the old guy on the panel. We've been doing this now for almost 4 years. So this was introduced to my wife and I as a sports product, and within just 3 days of utilizing this product, my wife's health improved in absolutely impossible ways. And it was impossible because it was with a sports product. So as she told me that she had improved drastically on the sports product, I knew she was nuts, because there was no way, because this was not a health product as far as I knew. Then a few days later, when I had my own changes, and as my wife says, it became about me, that's when I started researching the science of redox signaling biochemistry every day for almost the last 4 years. So before I could bring this into the hospital, I had to be sure that I wasn't going to get thrown out of the hospital. So I did a lot of research. I read Dr. Gary Samuelson's book. He's our atomic medical physicist with a specialty in nanotechnology. And he wrote a book about how healing happens and how redox signaling molecules, what our product is based upon, that was the essence of the immune system. So we went to the opening of this company, the launch, and we met Dr. Gary, we met the principals, the founders of the company, and realized that we could actually base the rest of our lives on these men who were true pioneers and just wanting to change a planet. So we brought this product into the hospital, and we've never turned back. Once I saw things that people had no shot at improving from, when I saw them coming in and crying and laughing and hugging me, because I guarantee you nobody was hugging me before, as all the gentlemen on the panel can attest, it got to be pretty crazy. So once we saw people who should maybe need the help of an estate planner for their family when they left the planet, and funeral parlor directors and surgeons and all sorts of things that got better once we supported their immune system and their bodies were able to function the way they were originally designed. They just weren't able to anymore until our product came along. It got pretty crazy. So we had done one network marketing company before as a favor to a patient. That lasted for about 10 minutes until they went out of business, which is not uncommon in the network marketing world. When you put clowns in front of a business, sometimes the clowns take the business away with them. So when we were introduced to this, we hated that it was network marketing, but we were willing to do it anyway just because the product and the science was so good, and we refused to share the business because we were embarrassed. And now, after doing that for months and realizing that this was, besides science breakthrough in history and the greatest athletic breakthrough in history and the greatest anti-aging breakthrough in history, this was an opportunity. So as insurance companies tried killing off my practice, this has more than made up for that. And this is my exit strategy and my answer. And my goal is to get as many doctors into this business with us as we can, because we'll be laughing at the insurance companies before we all know it.
Very good. Very good. All right. Let's go over to Mark Fedorczyk there in Maryland. Dr. Mark, we had met there at convention, and since convention, your business just exploded. As a matter of fact, within just a few weeks, you achieved the rank of gold executive. And first off, can you share a little bit about your experience at convention and what kind of role it played in your success?
Sure. I got to tell you, Dr. Pilar and Joe have been trying, Dr. Pilar and Dr. Joe have been trying to get me involved with ASEA for quite some time. And I just really have had no interest at all. And then one day they convinced me to come to convention and just see for myself. And I got to tell you, I was totally moved by what I saw. And I've been to many, many conventions in the 20 years I've been in practice, and I've never seen a convention that had so much passion And I got to meet the owners, and throughout the whole weekend, what I saw was just miracle after miracle. And the biggest thing for me was business opportunity. Like Dr. Foster said, there's been so many changes in healthcare, and this just for me came along at the right time, and I'm real fortunate that these guys kept on me about trying to go. And I met the owners, and you guys, all my upline, all the top executives, and just phenomenal people.
Now, speaking a little more specifically, you're talking about, I know your focus is the healthcare professionals. What kind of discussions, again, more specifically, are you having with some of these healthcare professionals to get them to engage with ASEA?
Well, when I started doing this, I came up with a plan, and my plan was to go after business owners. I wanted to go after people that had a vision, that had the right attitude, that had purpose and passion, and people that were going to push this product. Now, a lot of the doctors that I know, they are what's called phased out of practice. They no longer see patients. So the thought of me going to their practice and saying, hey, you need to do this product and you're going to have to go back in and work was a nightmare for them, which was the same for me when Dr. Joe and Dr. Pilar presented it to me. I didn't want to go back in. So what I decided to do is go after the business owners, but not stop at the business owners. I want to sign them up, but also I want to sign 2 of their employees up. And that's very important because right out of the gate, they automatically become binary qualified. And you can consider them like, the doctor's the quarterback, and those 2 are the 2 running backs, and he's literally going to hand off this product to them to push in the office. And most of these business owners, they have that vision to make this grow. They don't want to go back in and work. So how I approached them was very different than you would approach somebody on the street.
Fantastic. Now, it seems like you've got some folks not only enrolled but engaged. You got any secret motivational things that you've been pumping these guys up with?
Well, I don't know if I want to give you all the good dirt, but I will. No, I will share. I have this thing. I'm from the '80s. I'm a Rocky Balboa fan, so I came up with this thing called the 1-2 punch. Right. I go after a business owner or a doctor. He's my number one. After that, I sign up 2 of his employees right away, and I do it on the same day. I don't let him out of my sight until I get all 3 of them involved. And then we don't stop there. We make them sign up for at least 8 cases, and then both of their people sign up for at least 4. And then we don't stop there. We get them to go on auto shipment, not for a case. Everyone has to sign up for at least 2 cases, whether it's 1 case of ASEA, 1 case of Renew 28. This way, as we all know, when you start building these Director 300s, you don't want to have to worry about dollars and points. So I want them all qualified, the whole time, and the owners get that, and if you have somebody who is, wants to sign up for 1 case and you have to call them all the time and try to push them, those are not the people that you want. You want people that have the same vision, the same passion. It's almost like when I go to them, I'm a stockbroker and I have this secret inside tip, and I'm going to let them in on the golden egg, and and they're fortunate, just like I feel I'm fortunate that you guys have let me in on this. So that's been my strategy, not go after 1, go after multiple people. If somebody is not producing, I don't waste time with them. I literally push them to the side and get somebody new, someone that'll be productive.
Very good.
And there you have it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Dr. Joe, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Now, you have a very successful practice, and so let's talk about some of the struggles doctors and chiropractors in general are having with insurance reimbursement, and why is ASEA and networking opportunities such a good fit for a doctor's future?
Well, let's talk a little bit about the insurance reimbursement end for a second. I've been in practice 15 years, as all the guys here have been in practice a while. Would also say that things have the landscape of not only our profession but pretty much the medical profession has changed so significantly, actually just in the last 5 years. It's been absolutely unbelievable, the things that have happened. Now, I have also a little bit of unique perspective on this too, because I also do compliance consulting on the side of my other businesses, and I'm dealing with a lot of doctors that are getting audited. They're getting asked for money back after they've already gotten paid on their services. Now all of a sudden they're getting a request to have that money returned to the insurance companies. And the difficult thing about that is that they're not just asking for, let's say, one date of service. They're generally asking for multiple dates of service, multiple patients. So one of the things that, believe it or not, is actually discouraging some people from going into the healthcare fields has been these audits. The insurance companies are starting to realize that they can actually make an awful lot of money to just by getting in more of these audits from these doctors. So I talk with all these docs and I find out how much they're audited for. And they're having such difficulties in that, it's actually creating a lot of stress. We've also noticed from that side of it that we've also seen many, many doctors excuse me, that are going to a all-cash model because of the fact that they're just fed up with insurance companies. The reimbursements from many of the people that I'm talking to have been cut anywhere from 10, 20, 30, 40% is completely normal for a lot of doctors that I've had discussions with. So, you know, that's taken a toll on not just my own practice, it's taken a toll on, I'm sure, everybody's practice here. Not just for chiropractors, it's pretty universal across most of medicine. So now you come to these docs that have been having such difficulties, and you actually give them something that is more, it's right off the bat, it's something that is exciting. There's been very few significant breakthroughs that have been of the caliber of ASEA from a scientific background that are so strong that a doctor could really get excited about giving this to his or her patients. And you know, it's not, ASEA not being just another copycat type of vitamin or supplement or something along those lines. It's actually such a scientific breakthrough that it's so unique that it's something that has literally generated excitement from my network of people. The other aspect of that is as a cash service that a doctor can bring in, not have to deal with insurance companies with any of that, not just be able to literally get back to something that has been such a cornerstone of healthcare for all of us, which is why the reason that we got into is, listen, we just want to help people. The whole insurance game wasn't a part of our mentality when we first got started in this, and unfortunately it's had to become that. So when I am able to present ASEA to somebody, to a doctor, and say, listen, you can get back to the goodness of what you were actually able to do in the first place, which is literally just get right back to helping people at the most pure form that you possibly can. That's where we're seeing the excitement come in. It's really been, from that aspect, really been something that's been so great for me and for my wife, Dr. Pilar, to be able to present this to people from that deep of like a core and say, you know what, this is going right back to the way that we used to be, which is just forget all the other nonsense, just go out and help people, and we are good to go, and it's been really, really great.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Super. Are you there, David?
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me?
Yep. So Dr. Joe, real quick, why is ASEA and network opportunities? You know, how do you mentioned, you know, a little bit, excuse me, about it, but I mean about providing this added benefit. How do you see that playing in the overall scheme of things, and how do you approach people and communicate that to them?
Well, you know, from looking at it, a lot of, like when I go to networking functions, let's say, a lot of people will know me as the chiropractor, or that are our wellness center, or the different things that we bring to, let's say, a company or to their individual business. But what ASEA does is it levels the playing field. If I'm at a networking event, for example, there's a a real good shot that I'm going to be able to resonate with at least one or two people there, not from the aspect of what they're doing right now, but you know what? Sometimes they've been thinking about coming to me for one thing, and they've been trying to ask a question about something, and I now have another option that I can provide to them. Listen, maybe you should take a look at this, and it's that easy. And now that we've been able to provide that other option, now we're actually opening up these other discussions that we didn't expect to have. But you know what? Now we've gotten them to be able to say, you know what, I want to take a little bit more charge of my own health, and they're very excited to do it at that rate.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thanks so much.
Sure.
All right, let's move over to Dr. DeBlasi. Dr. DeBlasi, you know, you attended a training this past week, from what I understand. There were about 100 healthcare professionals were there, and Dr. Gary Samuelson, our very own atomic medical physicist, was a featured speaker there. Now, many of those doctors were nervous about ASEA coming through the network marketing channel. After hearing these sessions with Dr. Samuelson, were their attitudes changed, and how so?
Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to be part of this. But Dr. Samuelson, he talked to us and explained how this all works, and there was 5 or 6 doctors sitting right next to me, and each of them said to me, "Oh my God, did you hear what he just said?" And it was like a total change in just the seats that were next to me. I happened to turn to my right to someone who I got involved with both the meeting and with ASEA, who was across the room, and she looked at me and she also said, "Oh my God." I was sitting up front, and I turned around to look at everybody else in the back, and there were doctors there who had told me literally that they do not want to get involved with any kind of network marketing. And I looked at them, and I don't know how else to say it. Their eyes were wide open. Their mouths were so far down to the floor. They were totally turned around. I mean, they got to see not only the importance of what ASEA is doing, but the importance of having it the way that we are distributing it. As I tell my own patients, if somebody goes to a health food store, they're not going to look on the shelf for something called redox signaling. It's too new. They'll go for vitamin B12 or vitamin C, whatever. But nobody's going to look for this product. So it had to be something that is very one-on-one, person-to-person, because it's going to be story to story that's going to make a difference. And I can tell a story of a patient that I have from Sweden whose life has totally changed in 1 week. This man has a very, very harsh digestive issue problem, and ASEA has turned his life around. And it's just amazing how when I share it with whomever it is, I explain to them that when I started practice 36 years ago, there was no insurance. There was no health insurance, and then all of a sudden, healthcare came about with insurance. And yeah, we were making good money, but then, as everybody has already stated, insurance has got to be worse and worse. Practices closed down, and to me, ASEA has brought not only a financial gain for myself and my family, but it's also for them. So I'm actually helping them physically, but also financially. I've created their financial health, and to me, it's a blessing. I mean, their lives have changed dramatically. I mean, some of the patients were almost giving up, and ASEA has made a huge difference in their lives.
Fantastic. Speaking of a patient perspective, how would you recommend a patient approach their own doctor or healthcare professional about ASEA as an opportunity? What suggestions might you have?
I have 2 brothers who are also doctors. One's an orthodontist, the other is a chiropractor also, and neither of them do nutrition. And I explained to them the importance of ASEA as Dr. Samuelson has explained it to us. And so I approached them with, yeah, you guys, you do the work that you do, but wouldn't it be nice if you could actually help the patient do even better? Taking ASEA actually helps the patients, their bodies, to use the vitamins or other supplements or whatever they might be doing to get well quicker. So that is a plus part because now you're getting more referrals. And why would you not want to help these people also financially? If they could somehow, some way make an extra, I don't know, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, that would handle a lot of their stress. You're actually handling a lot of things. So the way I approach other doctors is, like everyone else has said before me, the world has changed in our little community of health, and there has to be other ways for us to put that income in that we were used to having before back into the plot. And the only way to do it, I see, is through a CR. I have been in other multi-level marketings, and nothing has compared to this so far. And I've been only in with my wife for 3 months now, and we're making a pretty good income so far. And I can actually see 5 years from now me retiring and having not only an ongoing income for myself, but I'm going to be leaving a legacy for my kids. I mean, that income will continue and continue. So that's how I stress it to other doctors and, of course, to the patients.
Super.
Hey, Paul, I actually have on the phone. Thank you, Dr. Jim.
Yeah.
I have on the phone Dr. Pompa. Are you with us?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Can you guys hear okay?
Yes. Yeah, it sounds like we can actually hear pretty good.
We had some challenges, so we have a surprise guest. We have Dr. Dan Pompa on the phone. He is a chiropractor. He is a cellular healing and functional medicine expert who has a strong mission to educate patients and doctors worldwide on the body's ability to heal itself naturally. So, Dr. Pompa, how do you see redox signaling and ASEA's products changing the future?
Well, something that I always say is if you don't fix the cell, you can't get well. And redox is such an integral part of really every cellular function. I have my 5 R's of a roadmap really to how to fix a cell that I teach the doctors. And as a matter of fact, Dr. Sanderson was at the seminar that you spoke of, that Dr. Sabalaji was at. And, in the past, speaking with Dr. Sanderson, he said, you all are doing something that nobody else is doing. And him and I had a really great conversation about cellular function and redox research. And it really is one of the hottest topics, if not the hottest topic in cellular research right now. And really, why that excites me is because, this is the answer. When we have so many sick people, an epidemic of hormone problems, people who can't lose weight, people that don't have energy, thyroid problems, diabetes, you have to fix the cell. And really, when we look at my 5 R's, really ASEA fits into every R. You have to remove the source. Well, ASEA makes intracellular glutathione work. Methylation pathways work. It raises cellular energy. So when we look at all of these cellular pathways and functions that really most people have problems with, ASEA fits into every one of those. So you can't fix the cell to get well. And really, I believe redox is it's kind of the spark that's needed for all of those things to work. So, it's really an epidemic of people who are redox deficient right now.
So, thank you. It's hard to keep this discussion, just on the health and or the financial importance because ASEA helps in so many ways because it is such a powerful product. Can you share with us why the financial opportunity for the healthcare community is so critical these days, in your opinion?
Yeah, leverage. You need leverage to move your mission. We know that. We have a mission to bring cellular healing to the planet, and you need leverage. Even if you're in a local practice, you need leverage. You need leverage to move your mission, to reach your community. That income source that keeps building and is residual, gives you leverage to not have to put your trust in an insurance company or a third-party payer. It gives you leverage to be able to move into the direction of your passion and purpose. And it gives you leverage to obviously market and get your message out to as many people as you can.
Thank you. Now, as we wrap up this interview, this amazing interview with all of these great doctors, Can you share some thoughts and address the healthcare providers who are listening, some reasons why they should take a serious look at ASEA, not just for the product, but for the income opportunity as well? I know the word you're going to say.
Yeah, well, I know. I think you answered the first, question. I mean, if you really care to use the well today, you have to use it to sell. Look, you can give people products or you can be taking products, whether it's practitioners online or just average folks, I think there's both. So the bottom line is you're taking things to help cellular function. You're taking things to help your cell detox, maybe, raise your glutathione, antioxidants. None of those things work really without redox molecules. And, many people are struggling with hormones. Well, every hormone needs a redox signal to actually work. So what happens when you actually become depleted? Your body's, things that are very important in the body, your body prioritizes. And meaning that it will take from other functions of redox and use it for very basic things to survive. So stress adaptation, it will take and utilize redox to those areas just to adapt to the stress to survive, when meanwhile, your hormones do not have enough redox signal to work. So that's why when some people, start taking ASEA right away, all of a sudden they feel so much better. The brain fog goes away, and we know that it creates an immediate insulin sensitivity, which means that your cells are now more reactive or sensitive to the hormones. That's what we want, because most Americans are hormone resistant, meaning they're not hearing the hormones. One thing, and David, you've heard me say this, is this hormone epidemic that most Americans are battling, most of which don't even know it. Now, most who have prediabetes don't know it, most who have thyroid conditions don't know it. And yet they're taking a lot of different things, whether it's medications or supplements, for the symptoms of hormone resistance. But this is a massive, massive problem. And when we can get somebody more hormone sensitive, then we're going to make them feel better. So what I always say is, look, people are taking hormones today like never before, whether it's bioidentical hormones from a natural doctor or hormones from their regular doctor, if you will. And the problem is not taking more hormones. I mean, does that make you feel better temporarily? Yes, it can. However, the issue really is getting yourself to hear the hormones that you have. And the example I love to give is like shouting at our kids. At the beginning, it worked. We're shouting at them, and listen. After a while, they stop listening. Well, this is what's happening with all the hormones that we're taking. Eventually we have to shout louder and louder and louder, or take more hormones to get the same results. And finally, it doesn't work at all, just like shouting at our kids. So, it's not the answer. We can become more hormone sensitive. Dr. Samuelson gave a great study talking about hormone sensitivity and how ASEA really affects those hormone receptors. If you don't fix the cell, you won't get well, no matter what it is. And redox is a major part of that.
Thank you, Dr. Pompa.
Awesome.
Being on, and thank you.
All right. Well, thanks all to all the doctors that participated tonight on our doctors panel. And also super thanks out there to my co-host there, David Asarno. Thanks, David.
Oh, my pleasure. And thank you to my co-host, Paul Tyra.
Awesome. And of course, special thanks out there to Brent Brooks, who's moderating our comment threads. Be sure to type in your feedback and all that good stuff with Brent there. And be sure to check back at connectionhangout.com. By the end of the week, we'll post next week's guest coming up, and we're looking forward to that. We're trying to finalize a special guest for next week, so we should have it up by the end of the week. All right, everyone. Well, take care. Go out and have a fantastic rest of your evening, rest of the week, and I'll see you later. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
Later.
Thank you.